Time now for the morning rush. State leaders are looking for solutions this morning as New Mexico continues to land in the bottom of the ranks for education. Right now, there are 3 proposals working through the Roundhouse that would extend the school year by 2 to 5 weeks, depending on grade level. While some believe the time extensions will benefit student learning, others aren't convinced.
A new bill in the Roundhouse would create a statewide standard for law enforcement in deadly situations. Senate Bill 252, known as the Law Enforcement Officer Procedures Act, hopes to hold officers and departments accountable and require officers to de-escalate the situation first when possible, then use less deadly options like tasing to bring the suspect in. Erica.
And here's a look at our school day forecast. 26 this morning. It is a cold start, so bundle up. We'll be seeing cool temperatures today, but with sunshine.
Court documents filed against actor Alec Baldwin and armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed are revealing more about their involvement in the shooting death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. The statement of probable cause shows that there were at least a dozen acts of recklessness before the shooting. Investigators found 6 live rounds spread around the production. Nobody could explain how those bullets made their way onto the movie set.
A man arrested for shooting and killing a Jemez Valley schoolteacher will be facing charges of first-degree murder. Deputies found 59-year-old Joseph Kelleher dead while responding to a 911 call in Ponderosa. Police arrested 46-year-old David Salazar, who they say admitted to the shooting. Erica.
And here's a look at our threat index. It is moderate to high today as we have some freezing fog in the East Plains near Santa Rosa and Clovis. And we'll be seeing some wintry mix in southeast New Mexico through the day today.
Family and friends of Tyree Nichols will gather in Memphis today as the 29-year-old will be laid to rest. Nichols died 3 weeks ago, 3 days after being brutally beaten by several police officers. Last night, Nichols' family and civil rights leaders issued a call to action for police reform at the Mason Temple Church, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his final speech.
Congressman George Santos has told his fellow Republicans that he is temporarily stepping down from 2 congressional committees. That's amid the ongoing investigations into his campaign finances and other issues. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has defended Santos' right to stay in Congress, even as a new poll shows 78% of the voters in his district say that he should resign, including 71% of Republicans. Erica.
And here's a look at traffic. The maps are looking clear, no accidents or slowdowns. And here's a live look to the Big I, showing some congestion there going east on I-40 towards the Big I.
Well, the Barbie brand continues to make strides to further make children aware of others' situations. It's by introducing a Chelsea doll with scoliosis. The doll aims to normalize back braces for children who may have to wear them and encouraging children who don't wear them to celebrate the importance of differences in others.
Time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5, 3 Powaka High grads. They are close to striking a deal with Shark Tank star Lori Greiner as for their pest control company. Aaron Gonzalez and Antonio Gonzalez, they started that company in Arizona after Aaron's home became infested with scorpions and Antonio's son was stung by a scorpion and almost died. They created a slick barrier that was to stop pests and critters from getting into people's homes. The company was eventually selected to appear on Shark Tank, which was filmed last fall.
And number 4, nearly 8 months after the Bernalillo County Metro Detention Center declared a state of emergency over staffing shortages, things are improving. Officials say the shortage of corrections officers at MDC is no longer a crisis, but they still have vacancies to fill. That jump came after the county gave a 13% pay raise to most corrections officers, in addition to sign-on bonuses of up to $10,000.
And at number 3, we'll start to see that wintry mix pushing north towards New Mexico during the day today. There is that chance for some freezing rain and even some snow in the southeast through tomorrow.
And number 2, a committee of lawmakers are discussing a bill that would lower the voting age to 16. House Bill 217 would make the voting age in New Mexico 216 for city, county, and state elections. But to vote in federal elections, the age would still be 18. The bill's Democratic sponsors say that if someone is old enough to have a job and pay taxes, they should be old enough to vote.
At number 1, New Mexico lawmakers are pushing a bill that would change how officers use physical force. Senate Bill 252 is being called the Law Enforcement Officer Procedures Act, aimed at holding officers and departments accountable and building a safe standard. Well, that would change how officers handle all situations before they end up deadly, whether that's by using physical force or a weapon. The goal is to get officers to de-escalate the situation first when possible and then use less deadly options like tasing to bring a suspect in.